Hi everyone, this is Galen Martling. Today I'm sharing Unity Stamp Company. It's a really fun and snarky stamp set called Snarky Dad, and it has these cute little icons and lots of really fun sentiments. They're great for Dad or Father's Day, but really they can be for friendship, different occasion, mostly masculine, the way I made these, and I hope you give it a try. So this is a background stamp, and that was stamped on mint cardstock with ink in the shade of like a dark teal. And so this was something I wanted to do in color just to kind of match some of the extra Copic coloring I'm going to do later. I stamped it twice on 2 sheets of mint cardstock, and then I die cut them out with Deckle rectangle dies, and then I cut 2 of them diagonally. These are the little icons. One's a cooler, one's like cans, beer or Pepsi or sodas, if you will, and one's a cell phone, and these sentiments kind of coordinate with these. One of the cards is going to be Happy Father's Day, and the rest of them I'm going to save for maybe birthday, maybe Father's Day, I'm not sure. It's easy to add a sentiment to personalize it to a holiday later on. So I kept 2 of them generic enough so that I can use them for different occasions. And so with these icons, I stamped them. I used Copic friendly black ink, and then I used Copic Markers. I cut them out separately because I'm going to color them separately for different cards. And then I am going over the lines because I'm going to fussy cut these. That means cutting them out. It looks messy on the edges, but you'll see it trims up nicely with scissors. I'm going to do that later after I finish all the coloring. And so you want to just go ahead and finish all of the coloring for all the different elements you're going to use there. And I like the the over effect, if you will, on the coloring. So, but don't let that worry you too much. And so I added some teal and gray and red shades to these cans, mimicking whatever they like, or could be anything really. It's not really labeled. This is a cell phone, and the sentiment pertains to weird emails that they might forward. I love that. These sentiments I can relate to. So I'm just lightly coloring this one. So all of these are going to be really small. These are the colors I use for Copics, really teal, red, gray, and tan colors. And so whatever you have on hand, you don't have to use Copics. Whatever marker or color medium you're going to use, make sure when you stamp that your inks are compatible with whatever you're using to color. If you're using watercolor, make sure you use something that's waterproof on the ink. And so I added really thin foam tape on the back of these icons and also on each of the sentiments. So these are the flag dies. This is by Unity Scallops and Banners nesting dies, and the rectangle is Deckle and Stitches nesting dies. So I cut the one panel in half, making sort of like a triangle, and then I cut all these little extra strips. I cut them in the same color, coordinating mint color and white, but of course use whatever colors you're going to use on your project. But I wanted to add a border edge to one side of each of these triangle shapes that I cut, just to give it a trim, not really all the way around. I just like an accent. You can even go darker and use a darker shade of teal. I probably should have done that, but I like that mint, so I use that. I have some glue there that I glued the borders on. Now on this card for the rectangle background, I use all these strips. They're about 1/4 inch wide. I kept them long because I wanted to add them in just alternating places at a diagonal towards the bottom of this panel, and I just glue them on. And then afterwards, I just use the scissor to trim off those edges there. Very easy. You can use any colors. These are from my scraps. I like to use things from my scraps whenever I can. And so I wanted one more piece there at the corner. And I didn't really, I didn't try to have exact number of colors of each, but you can. I don't really care about that so much. I just wanted some extra interest on the side of the card. Now, using some foam, very thin foam tape, I added the sentiment and the cooler on this card. I really like it. It's fun. And also, I'm adding to this triangle some flat double-sided tape. I do that for all the panels on the background. For the popped up areas, I use a thin foam tape. I'm using thin foam lately to help with mailing and postage. I find that the thicker foam tape I used to use left it too bumpy. Maybe it needed more postage. And so I'm trying to get away from that because it's so expensive now. But here is this cell phone regarding weird emails. It's such a fun sentiment. And this is another, I put this triangle together the same way. I decided to use that border on the long end of this triangle and place it in place. And you peel off the backing of that double-sided tape and then add your sentiments. So this one I made as a Father's Day card. I straighten up my sentiments later on, but I'm just giving you an idea of here how I put this together. And then I put the cans there. These would look cute with like a wobble. If you have an action wobble, that would look cute too. And that's the card, and I just really, really love it. I kept them all super simple, very easy, quick to do. You can make this like into Christmas cards if you want, with really quick designs for Christmas cards as far as the layout goes. So I hope I give you an idea of different layouts you can use to make simple cards without the fuss. And so here's 3 in no time at all. The hardest part was just cutting it all. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Have a wonderful day. Take a minute to like and subscribe if you will, and have a lovely day. Bye now.